141 pounds next up here at the National Wrestling Coaches Association All-Star Classic. And another Hofstra Pride wrestler, Charles Griffin, number 2 of the nation at 141 against third-ranked Nathan Morgan of Oklahoma State.
Again, another Hofstra wrestler, Ruggarello's training partner. That's the Hofstra's advantage. They have 2 guys around the same weight training together all the time. Plus, when you travel across the country, it's nice to have somebody you're comfortable with, your buddy. Wow, nice snap by Morgan. Griffin, you know, it's interesting. I've talked about top a lot. It seems to be a common theme here. Ness, really tough with the halves. Donahoe, tough with legs. Ruggarello, tough with bars. Well, Griffin, he likes the tilt. He's a 2-on-1 tilt man, a wrist roll man. If he gets a chance on top of Morgan, he'll be really dangerous. Morgan's no slouch on top himself. He's really good on top as well with a variety of legs and tilts, but his strength's definitely on his feet. He's slick. He's slick on his feet.
These guys met as freshmen in a dual meet. Griffin was victorious, but that was probably eons ago for these guys as they've grown throughout their careers. Morgan, 2-time All-America, 3-time Big 12 champ, was 4th at the NCAAs last year. And Griffin, he's won 3 straight CAA titles and 3rd at the NCAAs last year.
Very sweet angle, nice angle. Griffin's got good hips, but boy, that was good technique by Morgan's part. He got the angle, he got up. He's got that tree trunk. Griffin's got strong legs. Nathan Morgan's execute great technique. Potentially dangerous, potentially got to finish clean, and he does with a limp arm. That's 2. That was an excellent execution by Nathan Morgan. He cut the corner, got the angle, kept driving. Even though Griffin's got big, powerful thighs, he was able to beat him with good technique on a head inside single. Very impressive work.
Here's another look at the first 2 of the match.
Look at this angle. He picks that ankle up. Some referees get scared here, called potentially dangerous. Morgan used the limp arm to get his arm out, got the angle, and closed the deal. Let's see what he goes to work with on top here.
Griffin out of Reading, Pennsylvania, and Morgan grew up in Bakersfield, California. Comes to cowboy country at Oklahoma State. Griffin picks up a point for the escape to make it 2-1.
I remember when Griffin came onto the scene in Pennsylvania high schools, he was wrestling defending state champion Zach Haas, who ended up at Penn State, who's already a scholarship athlete signed at Penn State. And Griffin came out of nowhere, tilted him 2 or 3 times in the state finals, and dominated him. It was a really impressive performance, and that put him on the radar for the rest of his career. Nice angle again. He's got the angle and the ankle. You young wrestlers at home, pay attention. It's all about getting the angle. It's not over yet, though. It's not over. Griffin's still got a scramble situation. There's no control yet. Griffin uses the funk. Now he's going to have to keep improving his position, though. It's looking pretty good for Morgan. Look at that impressive flexibility. It still might get stalemated, though. It's, oh, what a... They're going to have to improvise here. Morgan's got to improve position. Oh, I didn't think there was an improvement in position there, but the referee gave him the 2 takedowns. Now, wow, that was a wonderful single leg by Morgan. And he had good technique, and Griffin pulled a last-ditch effort by funking him and rolling under and grabbing the ankle. Very impressive flurry, agility, flexibility. Wrestlers are amazing in what they got to come up with. The high-level guys can just, they're so creative technically, and they combine it with that uncanny agility, flexibility.
Here's another look. Morgan had to work for it, but finally able to finish.
Now, I thought it was over here. A nice angle, but Griffin dives under with what we call the funk, and he got the ankle. And they stayed in this position for a long time with no change of control. I thought they were going to call stalemate, but eventually the referee said Morgan's under control. I don't know. Who's in control here, Jason? I'm not sure yet. It could have called control earlier, maybe, but it's a tricky call.
Cody Olson's opinion counts more than mine, so we'll take what the official said. He's got it control the takedown, and Morgan with a 4-2 advantage entering the 2nd period.
Yeah, the official Cody Olson, he's a big boy. We better not argue with him, but I'm going to give him grief later, maybe. Privately. I don't know. It was a close call. Could have went either way. He probably should have called the 2 earlier or called a stalemate sooner. And he ended up waiting in the same position to give him 2. But Morgan's made no effort to ride. He's not tried to stay on top. He's pretty much kicked it loose. Oh, beautiful slide by. Whether in that sweep single again, it'll be tough. Morgan's got to pull in. You only have to have 1 foot in. He's going to jerk it in. This is going to be tricky. It's still 50-50 here. Morgan's got to get a good... Nope, nothing. What Morgan needed to do was get a good foot plant in the mat and jerk it in. He never got his feet planted into the mat to pull it in. More credit to Griffin's athletic ability and power than any lack of technique on Morgan's part. But that was impressive wrestling.
These two guys, as we mentioned, have a history with each other, so working it out here on the mat right now.
That was a great scramble, Jason. He went from a slide by, he had him 80%, 90% finished. Griffin reacted, then he ended up with that sweep single. Again, Griffin reacted. Morgan's definitely the aggressor so far, but we're in a one-point match. I'm a little surprised that Morgan's made no effort to ride after his two takedowns. Not even a little bit. I guess he's concerned about getting reversed and wants to just show his dominance on his feet. He is definitely the slicker wrestler on his feet.
We showed you Lou Ruggiero winning at 133 pounds in the last bout. Griffin here at 141. First Hofstra wrestlers at the All-Star Classic since Nick Gallo, who's the school's only wrestling national champion, and he competed back in 1977. So here it is, 3 decades later. Hofstra, the Pride represented, and what a great year last year for Coach Shiflett and the Pride, finishing the top 10 in the nation.
Yeah, Shiflett stepped up. He picked up where Ryan left and built on it, in my opinion, in the sense that he got his guys to peak at the end of the season. Hofstra was ready. Traditionally, Hofstra struggles at the end. Some people said it was due to lack of competition during the season. Some people say it was due to overtraining. Whatever it was, Shiflett had his boys ready at the end of the season. They peaked. He had a lot of All-Americans at the NCAA tournament. That's pretty amazing that they haven't had an All-Star representative in all that time.
Now, Oklahoma State certainly has had a litany of them over the years. Nathan Morgan carrying the torch here. Coleman Scott was expected to go at 133, but had to pull out with a knee injury. But certainly for the coaching staff of Oklahoma State, John Smith not with us tonight, but certainly the coaching staff of Oklahoma State, they've got work to do after unable to win a 5th straight national title last year.
Yeah, they got to keep plugging away. And the man you were looking at in the corner, Eric Guerrero, is intimately involved in the development of Morgan and Coleman Scott, all the lightweights. Eric Guerrero was a 3-time NCAA champion for the Cowboys. And between periods there, he was telling Morgan, you got to work hard now. No waiting around, because this, again, this is Griffin's tough position. Not chewing on the leg like this, but in general on top, tilting. So Guerrero was really intense there before the camera went out of him, in the sense of right now he wants a stalling call. Guerrero's out on the mat. He wants a stalling call against Griffin because he's hanging on the leg. I might call it a stalemate. Griffin's got to work up. Morgan wants a stalling call. Griffin's got to work up here, and he is. He's driving. He's driving towards the back. Now he's got to get a wrist to work that tilt position.
2 guys with NCAA experience, dueling here at the All-Star.
Hofstra coach Tom Shiflett, he's looking for pressure forward. He wants him to get the wrists. It's really important. The jump on the whistle is critical at this level and all levels.
Hey Ken, things have changed. This used to be one of the first events of the season, but now teams are scheduling tough dual meets out of the gate. I mean, Hofstra's already battled Missouri and Penn State here early in the season as these guys work here on the side. What's Griffin got going?
In a scramble here, Morgan's trying to funk him. Morgan was almost out. Griffin went in for tackle. Oh, quick stalemate there that time. Hey, you mentioned dual meets. Yeah, Hofstra came into Penn State, my alma mater, the other day, and Jake Strayer, All-American from Penn State, dominated Griffin. He was really aggressive, took it to him on his feet, dominated the tempo. The crowd was into it. He rode him. Strayer rode Griffin. Everybody was worried about Griffin riding Strayer, but Penn State's Jake Strayer had a great match, and he's actually ranked right in the thick of things now with these guys. These 2 guys and Jake Strayer, along with numerous other guys, are the top 6 guys in the country at 133 right. At 140-41 right now.
It's interesting. More and more teams are scheduling more and more tougher non-conference foes earlier and earlier in the season. Used to build, try to get your guys to peak for the end of the season, but some tough competition right out of the gate.
I think the philosophy is they want to give their guys some early season motivation to train hard in October and really get them out of the blocks and going, what have you.
Well, Morgan's got a 4-3 lead right now, but as Griffin works here on top, he's got 54 seconds of riding time, so if he can hold him down for at least another 6 seconds and work on that riding time, that bonus point would get him even at 4 apiece, could send us to OT.
Yeah, we got a barn burner right here. finishing my thought on this weight class, nice follow on the Granby, is that this was the weight that Derek Moore won by tech fall last year. He's graduated. And Lang from Northwestern, the runner-up, was undefeated last season. And he's been out so far with injury. There was talk to him, medical red shirt. Wow. Beautiful technique. Charles Griffin, return to the mat technique. You don't see that very often. And now this is his move. The cross wrist roll. It's over. Griffin is dominating.
We got the back points for the first move and more right there. And Nathan Morgan knows it.
What a great flurry of action.
In all, 5 back points for Griffin, and the riding time ends up being a 9-4 victory for the Hofstra wrestler. What a flurry. A 2-point move, a 3-point move, and the bonus point. And Hofstra in the final 30 seconds helps the Pride go back-to-back here at the NWCA All-Star Classic. Now, Tom Shiflett got to be a happy head coach. He sees his guys perform at the top level against Minnesota and Oklahoma State, no less. Charles Griffin, big moves, and a victory at 141.